Welcome to the second season of In Our Neighborhoods. That's right, this month marks the start of a new season of us showing you all that happens inside our gates. On this month's show, we will interview a social chairperson, also a monument sign decorator. But first, I interview Jim Fritz Frieden, neighborhood rep of the Cedar Run neighborhood. Let's hear what he has to say. Fritz? We interrupt this program for some breaking news. As we start our second season, we wanted to take this opportunity to share with you the types of segments we feature here on ION. On episode 4, we featured the neighborhood of Village Green at their bocce tournament.
I feel like a 10-year-old. I go out and play every day and come back home at supper time and pretty dirty. We're enjoying it.
My name is Bob Buckley. Moved to Sun City about 1.5 years ago. I think it's one of the best things we ever did. Currently enjoying our Village Green bocce ball games. And we got a little tournament going on. It's going to be fun.
Now, no neighborhood would be complete without an annual golf cart parade. Here we are in the Fox Lake neighborhood. Wave, everyone. Hi. I love this segment. We took a trip across 170 to interview the Riverbend Road Warriors. These are dedicated people that brave the elements and traffic each month to make the entrance to their neighborhood clean and pristine.
And when they come back, I make sure that they all check back in because I need to know that everybody's back. So it's not a hard job, but it's a great job. I do a lot of stuff for the people. I greet everybody that comes in and out, offer everybody coffee. People come down that don't want to work and they stop for a cup of coffee, which is fine with me. And so it's great.
Then on episode 10, the Blue Heron Golf Tournament that was open to all Sun City residents.
I'm here with another past winner of the 2017 Blue Heron Championship, and Dick Gangenbach. What was your secret to your victory last year?
The secret to my victory last year was picking the right people to be on my foursome, and that was what earned us a win in our group.
Okay, do you have the same team this year?
No, we don't have the same team this year because some of them just got disgusted with playing me last year and they didn't want to play again this year.
I don't know if that's good.
No.
Well, but it sounds like you've got some strategy planned with this new team. What is it?
Yes, I did. I don't know if I've been hoodwinked or not, but I went in the pro shop beforehand and I bought these 3 red balls and they said these are good for 3 holes in 1. So I think what's going to happen is that we're going to have an easy time winning again this year because I have 3 of the holes where we're going to have holes in 1.
Okay, Dick, I have some property to sell you.
I already own the Brooklyn Bridge. I own the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. I own a lot of those things in New York City.
Well, good luck to you today.
Hey, thank you very much.
Now let's not forget the Willow Brook Christmas party and Santa. And they're singing. Oh boy. Mariners Cove Games in the Sack was a charitable event that turned out to be a lot of fun and rewarding. Just ask Ken and Tommy.
Okay, I'm here with the 2 coolest people that are here tonight. Well, they have the best title, at least. They're the Hot Dog Kings. I've got Ken Wales here and Tommy Cooney. Now, I was a little concerned about this interview because they just finished a cornhole match that really went to the wire. Ken, what happened?
We collapsed at the end. That's all it amounts to. We got crushed.
Just a little pressure there.
Just too much pressure.
All right, Tommy.
About the hot dog.
Tommy, I'm a little concerned now. Do you have any fears about how he's going to be able to handle the grill?
Not at all. He's a professional.
Okay.
Wouldn't you like to see your neighborhood on ION? We would too. Listen to how at the end of the show. Now back to our show. Well, Fritz, how old is your neighborhood? How old is Cedar Run?
Cedar Run opened up in June of 2015.
Oh, it's a fairly new, fairly new.
New neighborhood, yes.
Okay, and how long have you been the NR for that neighborhood?
Well, we were the first couple to move into the neighborhood, and 6 months after that, we had enough rooftops to become a neighborhood. So really, since spring of 2016, have we been a real neighborhood.
And so you've been in the rep for that neighborhood since then too?
Yes,
Oh, no, newly elected then. Newly elected for the second time.
yes.
Very good. And how do you get to choose your neighborhood committees, like your treasurer, social committee, and stuff like that?
We really ask for volunteers. We maybe suggest to some folks, you might be a very good social chairman, you're outgoing, you seem to be involved with a lot of things. But generally speaking, it's on a volunteer basis, and what we have found is let's say the previous social director has been suggesting who might be a follow-up person as we look to change our committee membership. But really, it's a volunteer basis. We find that works very well.
Well, Fritz, what does your treasurer do each month?
We do have a treasurer. We have a neighborhood bank account. On a monthly basis, there's not a lot of upkeep to that. Our treasurer does make the deposit, does write the checks for reimbursement, does pay the vendors. On an annual basis, we've got to take care of our insurance premium. We've got to have our tax forms filled out, which we're just starting to do at this time of the year now. So he does give a financial report at each of our 5 business meetings that we have.
Okay, so then do you charge a rooftop fee? Or?
Yes, we do. It's per person basis, $10 per year per person.
Oh, per person.
And it's on an annual basis. And we use that money to subsidize neighborhood events, to subsidize purchase of paper goods and plasticware for our neighborhood meetings and things along that line. And we do almost totally subsidize one social event through the year. It has been a barbecue the last couple of years.
How do you get your neighbors to attend all the neighborhood meetings?
We like to think that information will bring the neighborhood together for our meetings, but we really know that food does it. We do have dessert that is contributed by our neighbors at each of our meetings, and on occasion we do have a potluck that we provide. But we also have a guest speaker at each of our neighborhood meetings. We've had Mayor Harry Williams from Hardyville. We've had police chiefs, fire departments. We've had representatives from Coastal Carolina Hospital, since they're building the emergency department right near our neighborhood. So we try to give a little bit of something extra rather than just the run-of-the-mill, well, we're going to play cards on Thursday night.
Fritz, tell me, how do you handle your new move-ins, and do you have a welcome packet?
We do have a welcome packet. Our neighborhood is small enough that we are one street and it's a cul-de-sac, so there's no drive-through traffic. So everyone that comes by our homes is generally one of our neighbors. Easy to see a moving van coming down the street, so we're kind of all on the lookout for new move-ins. We only have 2 homes yet to build that they're just finishing now, so we're soon done. But we have had a hospitality chairperson, and that person will meet with the new neighbors and welcome them to the neighborhood. I also try to stop in, but I don't get to everybody when they're brand new. But the welcome packet talks about registering for all of the various parts and pieces of Sun City, talks about Sun City 101. You got to register your car, you need to register a golf cart. The neighborhood options that we have for the ladies are the ladies' night out, ladies' luncheons. The men have a breakfast every month. There's a Mahjong group, there's a book club group. So we've got a lot of things just within our neighborhood. Those are all introduced to the new residents as they arrive.
Well, that's pretty good. And what would you say makes your neighborhood unique?
Well, I mentioned that we were small, so we only have 80 rooftops. We'll be maybe 125 to 130 people when we're fully built out. That's a small neighborhood by Sun City standards. So I think that's one of the unique things. We all have a chance to know each other. We all have a chance to bump into each other because we're on the same street. I'm close to the entrance, so as people drive by, we're always waving. We know who's coming because we can generally keep track of who's got what car. So I say, well, that's Bob coming down the street. And so we're a small neighborhood, and that's really what makes us a tight bond community.
Well, thank you, Fritz, for speaking with me today and all the information that you let us know about.
Well, thank you much for the invite, Joanne. I appreciated the time.
Thank you. Georgia Lash has the pleasure of interviewing Bonnie Huber of the Willowbrook Village neighborhood in her news segment.
Bonnie, let's start off by you telling us a little bit about Willowbrook Village.
Okay. Willowbrook Village is about 175 rooftops, and we are 10 minutes from the front gate. If you make your first right turn, you'll find us way back there. And we've celebrated, last year we celebrated 15-year anniversary for the original homeowners.
Wow, okay, 15 years.
Yes.
Okay, so how long have you been on the social committee?
This is my third year that I'm on the social committee, working with a wonderful group of ladies.
Now, we have in this show, in our neighborhoods, we've been trying to talk about how the neighborhood experience contributes to Sun City's social life and really the Sun City experience. You have a particular responsibility that we wanted you to talk about. You tend to take us inside and outside the gates. Tell us about that.
I'm responsible for the ladies' luncheons as well as the women's breakfasts. I do the organization and collecting names and things like that.
Now, besides collecting names, what are some of the other responsibilities? If I were to go and try to do this, what would I have to do?
Well, I'm going to divide it into two pieces. The women's breakfast, I set up the venue, make sure that it's the day I've chosen is available. I choose the dates, and I try to rotate that during the week so that everyone has an opportunity to, their one available morning to join us. And then I send out an email, remind everyone a second time, and then collect all the names and let the venue know. There are some venues that you have to let very far in advance. Others you can let know the day before. It depends upon which group you use. For the women's luncheon, it's a little bit more complicated. Again, you need to choose your venue. You need to meet with the people that are responsible at the venue, set what the luncheon will be, the cost, and then set out a flyer to everyone. Emails as well. It's usually in our newsletter that we send out to everyone. And then you'll collect that information, collect the money, collect the names and the food that they've chosen. And I usually do some kind of a name tag at the venue itself and have the check ready at the end of the venue.
Bonnie, you've made this sound very easy. You've got a system in place, but what are some of the complications that do come up?
I think, Georgia, that the biggest thing is that you be organized. If you keep all of the information as it comes in, I usually use a database so that I know names, I know people, I have phone numbers, and all of those kind of things is important. Complications I really haven't run into. But you do want to make sure that you have a vegetarian meal included. And I think that is one important thing that I've been asked about. The other thing is that if there are any special dietary needs, the women will contact you. You need to make sure that they can be taken care of at the restaurant. And then the final thing always is there's some cancellation along the way, unfortunately, or someone that wants to be added. And we work very hard to include everyone, whether it's past the RSVP date or not. Just make sure everyone is included if they want to be with us.
That's great. Now, how receptive is the Willowbrook neighborhood to events like this? Is it different when they're inside the gate or outside the gate? What have you found?
I would say that inside the gate is probably more people attending, although we're well planned and we usually have a great time, so I think they know that. Outside the gate, of course, is cost. Some of it will be cost. But we have probably between 12 and 18 women that will attend in the morning, but it's probably 25 or so that have attended the breakfast, but depending upon the day. The luncheons are usually between 30 and 40 ladies that will show up. So we do have quite a few people that are really interested. And we are doing the luncheons usually quarterly, but we want to make sure we have some socialized time before we sit down at the table. So that's the important. And they, you know, we see people that we don't get to see all the time.
Now, how amenable are the venues for large groups? Is it easy to schedule? Is it easy to find throughout town?
Well, as far as venues, we usually use local venues for the breakfasts. We have no problem with that. But there are people you have to call, of course, and make sure that they don't have another reservation so that they have room for you. Some of the larger places, no problem. You can call the night before and let them know. I usually make an arrangement. But I'm learning that contacting them in the morning, if it's one of the larger venues, really helps so that they're prepared for you. As far as other venues for the lunches, we have not had any problems. Sometimes a clubhouse in one of the other communities will work, or restaurants have been very receptive for us.
Now, Bonnie, before you leave us, what advice would you give to, let's say, a new social committee chairperson or a new social committee, maybe a new neighborhood that's getting started, about doing events like this?
Well, I would say that you want to organize with your social committee. Hopefully you're not all by yourself there. Choose a decision about what kind of meals, whether you want a buffet, whether you want a menued meal, what kind of places might work. Make your calls. Get yourself really prepared. Send it out early. You want to be out there a good month and a half ahead of time with the venue itself. And then you collect, make sure that you're collecting and have all of your names and money about 5 days before. So that gives you a 5-day leeway to prepare any name tags that you would want. I usually do a name tag, and if it's a menued meal, I indicate that. Unfortunately, some of us forget after a month that what we chose to eat, so it's always a surprise for some of us, like myself. At any rate, and then have the check ready, and then go and enjoy yourself. Take the time to enjoy your neighbors, because I think that's the socialize is the fun part of it all.
Bonnie, thank you for coming in and sharing with us. Again, helping to make Sun City a fun city. Thank you.
It certainly is. Thank you.
Our reporter, Margie Brewster, checked out the decorating of the monument sign of Edgewater. Let's take a look.
I'm delighted to invite you into the Edgewater neighborhood. This neighborhood is on the north side and is relatively new. The first home was closed on in March of 2016. We're likely one of the smaller neighborhoods with 52 homes, and our representative is Patrick Metcalf. Given we have 52 homes, we really have every opportunity to get to know our neighbors and develop friendships. We have our own Edgewater Cares, which raises goods and monies for charities in the local area. We have game nights throughout the week. We have our concrete and cocktail events, and there's something for everybody. And whatever the need is, somebody always steps up to take on that role. I'm pleased to introduce you today to Bonnie Malecki, and Bonnie stepped up to take responsibility for decorating our Edgewater monument. Welcome, Bonnie.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Tell us how you got involved and why.
I accidentally got involved in this playing cards one night with some of the neighbors, and our other two volunteers that have done it over the past 2 years decided they were no longer able to do it. So I stepped in, tried to help out the community where I can, and it's been fun so far. I enjoy doing it.
How do you come up with your ideas?
I go to the store for the particular holiday. Some decorations we've had donated through other neighbors here. Some I've had to go out and buy at the store. And I just kind of try to put it together on the our monuments. One of our neighbors had made a board that went on top of our monument, and it makes it nice and easy to secure the things that we need to put on for each holiday. So we appreciate all the neighbors' help that whenever we can get it here.
Do you find that most of the items are reusable year to year?
On some holidays more than others, yes. This year I had to buy a few things. Some things, because of the elements here, the wind, the rain, the sun, start to deteriorate and fade. So we just try to freshen it up and do our best with what we have.
And what tricks do you use when the weather is not cooperating?
Some of the tricks I use really depends on the weather and the time. Sometimes it's really windy, so I need a couple of hands, and it's amazing. People will go by, they'll be driving in the golf cart from the neighborhood. Oh, can you use an extra hand? And I'll say, gladly. And so we really adhere with the floral wire, the tape, the thumbtacks, P-ties, whatever we have, depending on the decorations we have, and people in the neighborhood are just wonderful. They volunteer for everything.
And another question, how long can you leave these decorations up according to the Sun City rules?
10 days before the holiday and 5 days after. With the exception of Christmas and Hanukkah, we have a few extra days in there that Sun City allows us, so it's plenty of time. Otherwise, the elements are going to eat these decorations up.
And Bonnie, what does it mean to the people of Edgewater to have the monuments decorated so regularly and so nicely?
Well, I think it shows a lot of unity and community, helping each other, supporting each other, and just to bring some joy for a special holiday. I think that really helps no matter where you go, and especially Sun City here for a great neighborhood.
So Bonnie, with 10 holidays that you're decorating for, where do you keep all this stuff?
Oh, I put it in big totes and I store it up in our attic over our garage. It's nice and easy, convenient to get to, and it keeps them safe and dry and out of the elements here.
Well, and what if you need help, or as people come by, how do you get the extra help you need? You must, especially in some really weather-related conditions.
Yes, in fact, yesterday when I was putting up the Valentine's decorations, one of our male neighbors came by in a golf cart. He'd just come back from the golf course. And Steve was kind enough to offer his support and help me put up some of these decorations, but it's so windy, and you need more than one set of hands at times for all these challenging days.
And the reason that we're not beside the sign doing this interview is because of the intense wind today. You told me of another circumstance where you were struggling trying to hold on to things and get them adhered, and you had a nice surprise. Tell us.
Yes, I had 4 girls come by. Again, they were coming back from golf. I'm sure it was challenging out there as well. So they stopped and helped, offered, and we were able to get it done. One time I was away when the decorations had to come down, and 2 neighbors volunteered. I had let them know I wasn't going to be available, and they stepped right up. And we're really close community here, and we really do support one another when we need it.
That is a perfect closure for this interview. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for all you're doing.
You're welcome. I appreciate enjoying the Sun City lifestyle.
It doesn't seem possible that it's been a year since we started shooting in our neighborhoods. We have had so many interesting segments to share with you, and we want to continue to do so. So please tell us what's going on in your neighborhood. You can contact us via email at suncitytvhh@gmail.com. And stay tuned for more episodes of In Our Neighborhood.